What is up, guys? Randomonium here with another random normal game. This is the series where I will fill whatever role my team needs me to play, and I'll play a different champion each game. So first off, you guys might notice things are a little bit different. The HUD is a little bit different than it normally is. That's because this is actually a replay of one of the games that I played yesterday. And I didn't record this game live because I actually tore an abdominal muscle when I was working out, and I was actually in a lot of pain last night. So I was actually just playing this game to kind of take my mind off the pain. And it actually turned out to be a pretty good game, so I figured that I would cast it in replay mode and try to provide a little bit more commentary than maybe I normally do, a little bit more discussion on strategy and why I do what I do when I do it. So maybe you guys can get a little bit better insight into how I play. And if you guys like this version of the games, please let me know with a comment, and I'll try to do more of them. They take a little bit more time, but they might be a better quality product in the end. But for our team, we've got Quinn in the top lane, Wukong in the jungle, Ahri mid lane. I'm playing Graves in bot lane, and we've got a Thresh support. So you can see with that jungle start for Wukong, I used my auto attacks and I actually used one of my Qs. And the reason why I did that is because Wukong usually has a pretty weak first jungle clear, and I really didn't want him to fall behind in the jungle. So you can see, yep, Volibear just executed. He actually tried to do a camp to start off, and he completely failed that. So that's kind of a nice little start for us. But the enemy team is going to be a Volibear in top lane, Rengar in the jungle, Heimerdinger mid lane, and a Jinx Leona bot lane. So if we're looking at kind of the matchups, the Quinn versus the Volibear, this matchup should go in Quinn's favor as long as she can control the range of the Volibear. If the Volibear gets close enough, Quinn should be able to vault away and just poke him down. But if she lets the Volibear get too close to her, the Volibear will absolutely maul her, for lack of a better term. So it's really on her, on how well she can control the distance. With the Ahri versus the Heimerdinger, yeah, whenever you play Ahri, it's all about whether or not you can land your charms. Especially with Heimerdinger, it's whether or not you can keep his turrets down and kind of deny him some CS. So that was a very good hook by the Thresh right there. That was a misplay by Leona, trying to go in and get that stun on the Thresh. And you can see that I was able to trade back with her pretty well. Landed my Q, got my proc on the Thunderlord's Decree, and knocked Leona down considerably in her health. So that gives us a pretty good advantage, and then you can see yet another hook landed by the Thresh, and I'm able to pick up the first blood. So that Thresh is 2 for 2 on hooks. Did a very good job. I did wind up blowing the heal, just because I didn't want to risk the Thresh dying. He did a good job throwing out the lantern for the shield, but I just didn't want to risk trading that kill back if he took like an extra tower shot or something. So yep, I unintentionally take 2 tower shots, and the Jinx is able to escape even after Thresh lands his 3rd successful hook. So he's landed a 3 for 3 on hooks. Very good job so far on his hooks. So at this point I could back. The Jinx definitely backed. I know she backed. But I'm getting pretty close to getting a BF sword. So I'm taking a risk here, and I am not backing, because I want to get a BF sword, because I know that the Jinx is going to come back with either another Doran's Blade or maybe a pickaxe, and I want to try and get that advantage on her. I want to get that favorable back. So I'm sticking around. I get my 1300 gold, and even though the wave isn't I don't completely clear out the wave, I back once I get 1300 gold, because it's not worth trying to risk Jinx coming back into lane with an item advantage and getting a kill back on me, because Leona's got that very strong engage. So you can see I back right with 1300 gold. I pick up my BF sword. So now it's BF sword and Dorn's blade versus 2 Dorn's blades. So I've got a huge advantage in the lane off of that single kill. Even though we don't have a CS advantage, it's pretty much even in CS because I got that kill and because I got to back when I wanted to back rather than when I died or when I was low on health. That's a huge advantage. So that's something that you guys really should try to keep track of, is try to get optimal back times when you can get the item that you want to get. And you don't want to back too soon, and you also don't want to back too late. You don't want to have, 1500 gold, because that's not really going to be very useful to you. You want to try and back when you have enough gold, exactly the amount of gold that you need for your item and any pots or wards that you want as well. So Thresh lands another great hook, and then you can see I can dash forward and I'm able to pick up another kill on the Leona. So 4 for 4 on hooks for this Thresh, playing absolutely godlike. And all I'm really doing is following his lead and making sure that I engage when he lands his hooks. That's all you really have to do as a good AD carry, is just make sure you CS well, and then if your support does something great, you follow up. And you'll find you'll get tons of kills that way. Because the support, all he's trying to do is, harass them and land his engage. So yeah. Thresh does a really great job. I think I made a comment about like, Mad Life, is that you? And he kind of joked back that it was all me. And that's always good. You always want to have a good rapport with your teammates. If they're playing really well, you definitely want to try to encourage that behavior and say good job. And kind of let them know that you realize that they're playing really well, that they're actually carrying you. It's not the other way around. So at this point, I tell the Thresh that I'm out of mana, so I want him to play conservatively, allowing me to get my mana back, and then we'll engage again. So we're letting the lane push, so that way we can farm under tower, and because we already have an advantage, we can also deny them CS by pretty much just freezing the wave on our side of the map, because they don't know where our jungler is. So you can see they're playing like super conservative right now because they don't know where our jungler is. We have the advantage, and we're just going to deny them as much CS as possible while I recover my mana. And then once I recover my mana, we're going to all in them again and pick up another kill. That's at least the plan. So you can see I'm just letting my creeps die to their creeps. So I'm denying them all this experience, all this CS. And also, this is protecting us from getting ganked from their jungler as well. As you can see, I've got about half mana. We're getting to about the point where we can start re-engaging again. So you can see the Thresh is going for his hook again. I think that's the first one he missed the whole game, which is fine. Sometimes you gotta just throw out the hook just to get them to back off. Yeah, so now the lane's reset to a neutral position. This is a good spot for us to try and engage. So as soon as we can find an opening, we'll try to go in for another kill. I will say that our warding is kind of bad right now. We're not warding the river at all. Thankfully their jungler, the Rengar, is kind of playing really passive. Even though he's got level 6, he really hasn't made that much of an impact on the map. So we get some nice poke on the Iona. So we have vision that the Rengar is on their red side, so that's assigned to us. So we want to try and engage. There's no way that he's going to be able to assist his bot lane. And then Wukong actually picks up the kill on the Rengar. So we're looking for a strong engage here. So you can see, yep, we get the ult So you can see there, Thresh used his ult. I did not use my ult because I knew that they still had enough life to survive. So I waited until I could land another Q, and Leona was low enough that my ult would straight out kill her. So that's why I held on to my ult there, because I knew that it wasn't going to kill them, and I wanted to get the kill. I didn't want them to back with like 200 health. So we get the kill on Leona, and then we just back off. And now we're in a pretty commanding lead. You can see that Jinx was going even with me on CS, but because I denied her a lot of CS down here, I now have a 10 CS lead on her. So, and also I'm 3-0. So, as far as the other lanes are going, Quinn looks like she's doing a good job. It's a pretty commanding CS lead. The Heimerdinger is dominating our Ahri. So once we start getting out of the laning phase, we're going to be looking to roam mid to try and help that Ahri out, because she looks like she's struggling a lot. So you can see I complete my Infinity Edge, and the Jinx is still at BF Sword and double Doran's Blade, so pretty huge difference in power between our two ADCs. So now the Thresh is warding up, that's very good. We got to worry about the Rengar. The only thing that the only way that this bot lane is going to get back into the game is if they get a lot of assistance from Rengar or from Heimerdinger. Another great hook onto the Leona, and we're able to burst her out very quickly. As you can see there, I was able to dodge the Jinx zap, and because she roots herself when she uses her zap, I was able to fire out my Q and able to land some good poke on her. So I was waiting for her to actually use her zap for me to dodge it, land my Q on her, because I know that I can outpoke her at that point. But see, yeah, we're not going to be too aggressive trying to take the tower. I know the tower is going to go down eventually. I just need to be patient and make sure that I don't take any unnecessary damage from tower shots or from harass from the Jinx. Nice try by the Thresh, just a little bit outside his max range. So yet again, playing safe, not staying under turret, not taking any turret damage. The biggest thing is when you get a lead, you want it to be like a stranglehold. You don't want to give them any chance to get back into the game. And the only way that they're going to get back into the game is if you make a mistake or they make some fantastic outplay. And the chance of them making a fantastic outplay is pretty small. So it's really going to be based on whether or not you make a mistake. So just don't make mistakes. Just be really conservative, really methodical with how you play once you have a lead, and you'll just keep building on that lead, and they'll start getting more and more desperate, and they'll start going for a lot more risky maneuvers to try and make a play, and then you just punish them for those risky maneuvers, and then you just get even further ahead. And that's how you can really snowball a game. So now we've taken a bottom tower. We're going to be looking to go mid to try and relieve some of the pressure mid lane. You can see the Heimerdinger has double the CS of the Ahri and has a 2-kill advantage. So we're going to be looking to try and get some pressure on mid lane and possibly also help out the Quinn, because it looks like Rengar is devoting a lot of time in top lane as well. So I came in there, and I don't know if you would call that a kill steal. It looked like the Heimerdinger was actually going to be able to get away. So I fired off my ult and was able to get the collateral damage kill. Jinx Rocket just barely missed the Ahri. not able to get the kill on that. Jinx probably could have gotten that kill on the Thresh, but she had no idea where I was. I kind of backed off out of vision, so she had to assume that I was going to flank them. Wukong's calling for the dragon. This is a pretty good idea, just because we've got the ward coverage up. We know that the Heimerdinger isn't back to mid lane yet, and then especially when the Rengar shows top lane here, we know it's a free dragon essentially. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to come down here bot lane. I'm just going to clear out a couple waves, get it kind of pushing back in the other direction, and then I'm just going to go back mid and try and relieve more pressure mid lane. Big thing is I don't want to overextend. Even though I am very far ahead, I'm still very vulnerable. You know, the Leona, the Volibear, the Rengar, they can all, you know, kill me if I'm not careful. So I push up the lane, and then I come in here, and we're able to land a good hook onto the Heimerdinger. I completely whiff on my ult. Not that it was even really necessary. Kind of a wasted ult there, so definitely a mistake on my part with that. But yep, the Siona just loves to eat those hooks. Yeah, if I had my ult there, if I hadn't wasted my ult, I could have gotten a kill there. So definitely missed out on a kill. Thresh comes in, lands yet another hook, gets the kill. He's gonna wind up dying to the Rengar though. At least we burned the Rengar's flash. So you can see we have a pretty commanding lead in this game. Yes, our mid lane lost, but because our top lane did well and our bot lane did well, we have a pretty strong lead. Now we just got to turn that kill lead into an objective lead. So we have to turn it into a tower lead. Right now we're even on towers, 1 tower to 1 tower. So we need to turn that into a 2 or a 3 tower advantage, and that's when we're going to start being able to really win a lot of team fights. So Rengar lands his bola on me, but I'm able to pretty much burst him out instantaneously because he just gets too close to him. Graves is actually, seems like he's really good dealing with AD assassins. So he's got that mobility, he's got the smoke screen. I think at this point I made a comment about how I'm going to leave now. And Heimerdinger said something along the lines of, get the fuck out of my lane. I think he's getting kind of pissed off that I'm coming into his lane because he beat the Ahri, you know, really badly. And now we're kind of turning the tides against him. Kind of making sure that it's an unfair fight. So yet again, bot lane's trying to push back into my tower, so I'm going to go bot lane. Just clear out a couple waves, get it pushing back in my favor, and then I'm going to go mid lane to help mid lane again. Thresh line, or Jinx lands a nice rocket, gets a kill on Thresh. We're going to wind up losing our mid tower. Just didn't have the right people in the right position. I don't think that even if the Wukong had come here to defend, we would have been able to hold that. So yeah, I get the tower pushing in my favor. They're going to have to send somebody to respond to clear out this wave, and I'm going to go mid lane and try to pick up another kill on the Heimerdinger. You can see we're all just closing in on him. So we get a lot of damage done on the Heimerdinger and able to pick up a pretty easy kill once we land that Ahri charm. At this point I kind of responded back to the Heimerdinger. He had originally said for me to get the fuck out of his lane, and I responded, oh, I'm sorry, I thought you meant for me to fuck you in your lane. And that's kind of an example of friendly shit talking, which I would say is different than kind of like toxic shit talking or rude shit talking. It's fine to have a back and forth with the enemy team, or even have a back and forth between your own team, as long as you keep it kind of like tongue in cheek and kind of tactful. Um, you know, it's you definitely don't want to just be constantly just berating somebody and just telling them they're getting wrecked every 5 seconds, especially if you're just like completely destroying them. Like if it's like 40-0 in kills, just be quiet, be graceful, be humble in victory. There's no reason to rub it in. Nobody likes a sore winner. But if somebody's like talking some trash to you, it's alright to talk a little bit of trash back, as long as you keep it, respectful and, kind of keep it tactful. So you can see Rengar came in and he ulted. He was way too far ahead of his team, and then all I had to do was pretty much just dash away. Ari landed her charm, and then my burst damage was able to just kill him almost instantaneously. So now that we're at this point in the game, we finally dropped all of the the outer turrets. So we're going to be looking to kind of keep the lane to push, kind of keeping the enemy team on their toes, not able to contest any objectives. And then we can take, Dragon if we wanted. We can slowly kind of whittle down the towers. But really the next step at this point in the game is to start getting deep vision into their jungle. So you can see here, Thresh has done a good job. I think both Thresh and Wukong have done a good job lighting up the blue side of the jungle. And what this is going to allow us to do is it's going to allow us to pretty much deny the enemy jungler any farm whatsoever. So that's going to basically turn it into a 5v4. We're just going to pretty much starve him of any type of farm that he could get. And that's going to kind of be an easy way for us to get a victory. So yeah, it's really important that you look at not just towers and dragons as objectives that you want to take, but also enemy jungle camps, because that's just denying gold for the enemy team. That's the whole point of the whole way that you expand a lead, is you deny the enemy team gold, and you make sure that you get more gold on your side of the team. So you see I come down here. I'm just going to clear out a couple waves. I'm not going to overextend. A lot of the wards have expired now, so I'm not going to push up the wave too far. I'm barely passing river, and then I'm backing off, and I'm done. I'm not going to overextend. I'm not going to give them any chance to come back in this game. So as far as my build is concerned, I ended up going Infinity Edge, then into Essence Reaver and Berserker Greaves. And then the next step would be to get a Bloodthirster to kind of allow me to get some lifesteal, allow me to get a little bit more sustain. Now that I've got a lot of crit and a lot of damage. Nice kill onto the Rengar. So you can see now we're just pretty much denying the Rengar. The Rengar is pretty much afraid to go into his own jungle. Because he has no idea where the wards are, and he can pretty much die at any time. Another collateral damage that I hit from max range to pick up the kill. I really like Graves' kit as far as his Q, and then dashing in with his E, and then landing his ultimate. It's very useful for not only picking up like an execute on a kill, but also dealing a lot of AoE damage to the enemy team. That Quinn went a little bit too ham there. As you can see here, like any chance I get, I'm going to try and steal jungle camp. So Wukong is stealing a jungle camp, so I stole the wolves. And we're not going to ever overextend. So now that we've got wards up, all throughout their blue side jungle. Now I'm going to start pushing up this side wave because I know that it's safe. So yeah, I know that the Jinx and the Leona are going to start coming towards us, but I feel pretty safe with the wards we have. It winds up being a 3v3. I feel like we can probably win this. But then the Rengar comes in. That kind of definitely changes the fight. So I'm able to pick up 2 kills, but because that Rengar showed up, it winds up going against our favor, and I wind up dying. And that's really the power of the Jinx, is once she gets 1 kill, she can start racking up kills with her passive over and over again with that movement speed. She's really good at cleaning up team fights. But overall, I felt like I played that pretty good. Wound up getting a double kill when it was an unfair fight. It wound up being a 2 for 3, so that was kind of unfortunate. But it definitely could have wound up being a lot worse. However, even though they got a favorable fight, because we have the waves pushed up, they're really not able to do anything with that advantage, right? I mean, it's not enough to just get kills. You're not going to win the game just off of kills. You have to turn those kills into objectives. So even though they got 3 kills, they didn't get any objectives, so nothing really came of it. So I paused right here just because I want to see if you guys can figure out. Alright, so we got this Heimerdinger. He's at 300 health. Does he survive? Does he not survive? I'm firing off my collateral damage at him. And if we look at my collateral damage, it's going to wind up doing 581 damage, AoE damage, once it hits the Leona. So do you think he survives or not? Let's find out. He survives. With 13 health, to be exact. So, yeah, definitely was pretty salty and mad about that, but sometimes that happens. I actually think that Leona's Keystone Mastery, the Bond of Stone, is actually what saved him. That little bit of damage reduction that she provides was enough that the Heimerdinger didn't die to that ult. So right now we're just pushing at mid lane because we're just trying to distract the enemy team, right? So we push at mid lane, we distract the enemy team, and then we're going to back off and we're going to go towards Dragon, because Dragon's coming up in about 15 seconds. Meanwhile, I'm also making sure that we ward up this red side so they can't, possibly try to do something crazy like go for Baron or try to collapse on the Quinn or something like that, because she's pushing out top lane. So as soon as we see them, going up towards this side of the map, we know that it's pretty much a free dragon. There's no way that they can, collapse on us to get it. So originally I was going to go bot after we took dragon, but we saw all of them kind of collapsing on our Wukong and our Quinn. So I decided to start coming up to try and assist our team. That was actually a really bad jump by the Rengar. Right into the Wukong ultimate. Allows us to pick up this double kill, take the Thresh Lantern, and then pick up a 3rd kill. So at this point, we get 3 kills. So like I was saying earlier, you want to turn kills into objectives. Kills don't matter if you don't get objectives. So what objective can we get? Well, none of our waves are pushed. Mid isn't pushed, bot isn't pushed, top lane isn't pushed. So we can't get any towers. What's the only other objective we can get? Baron. And we're at a sufficient level where we can easily get Baron. There's no way they can oppose it. So immediately after we got that triple kill, our team should have gone for Baron. And you can see that we chased a lot, we wasted a lot of time, and now this Baron becomes a lot more risky. And on top of that, our Wukong decided to go get their wolves for some weird reason, rather than come towards the Baron. So, whenever you win a team fight, whenever you get a couple kills, you should immediately ask yourself, what objective can I take? And if you can't get a tower, you should be looking towards a Baron, you should be looking towards a dragon, and as a last priority, you should be looking to steal all their jungle camps. So now that we have Baron, the whole name of the game is, well, how many towers can we drop with the Baron? So we want to try and get the lanes pushing, all three lanes pushing, and we don't want to be stagnant. We don't want to kind of just ram our head against the wall while they wave clear against us. We want to push up a wave, make them rotate to defend that tower, and then you move to another tower, and then you take that tower. And then when they rotate to defend that tower, you move back to another tower and you take a different tower. So you can see here, we're pushing up mid lane, we're able to pick up a kill. But as soon as the wave starts kind of crashing into their tower, and we see that they have a lot of wave clear, they have the Heimerdinger, they have the Jinx, immediately we start rotating over to bot lane. So you can see as soon as I see that opposition, I'm going to move over here to bot lane, and we're going to start trying to take bot lane tower. And the enemy team, because they don't have ward coverage up in their jungle, they're not going to be able to rotate fast enough to stop us. So now we can push up bot lane, and then we rotate back to mid. And you see this Heimerdinger is really out of position. He has no business being out here. He should be behind the wall. That allows us to get a pick. Now with one of their primary ways of doing wave clear down, the Jinx is the only person they have for wave clear, we can start going in for a tower dive. You can see our damage is just pretty huge. Wukong gets a great ult, and then combine that with the Ahri and my ult, and we're able to pick up quite a few kills and get the inhibitor. So now the only person left is Jinx, so we can start pushing in and actually trying to get a Nexus tower. If you're the Jinx in this type of a situation, it's kind of hopeless, but really what you should be focusing on is wave clear. That's the only way that you're going to hope, that you have any chance of stalling the other team out, is the wave clear. You can see that Jinx, she used her zap, she used her chompers to kind of poke us rather than for disengage, and that allows us to pretty much, end the game then and there. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this game. I hope you guys learned a little bit more about my decision making. I know that sometimes I don't explain everything that's going through my head when I play because I'm focusing on the game. So I hope this video was a little bit more educational. If you like these type of videos, please give them a thumbs up. If you like the content on the channel, please subscribe. And if you want me to do more of these type of videos in the future, please let me know with a comment. Please let me know what I can change or what I can improve, or what you found helpful or what you didn't find helpful. Just any advice or comments or feedback you guys have, I will happily take it on. But yeah, hope you guys have a good day. This is Randomonium signing off.